Good morning, everyone. We're waiting for our shuttle drive to take us back to the trailhead. Today we're going to begin hiking Franconia Ridge. We're going to begin with a pretty steep climb to get up to elevation, a little over 2,800 feet. And then we're going to summit three mountains today. The first one is Little Haystack. It's a little over 4,700 feet. And then we are going to hit Mount Lincoln and Mount Lafayette, each of which are over 5,000 feet. So we have a very, very big day ahead of us. Got about 2 miles of up, done a little less than a mile. Got 1.1 to go. That's just the first big climb of the day. Not even to the top yet, but already some beautiful views. All right, I'm up in what's called the Alpine Zone now, basically above tree line or close to it. Take a look at the magnificent views. It was hard getting up here, but worth it.
Well, we must have connectivity up here. You know, I came by a cell tower.
Just glorious. Haven't had much of an opportunity to show the trail lately, because a lot of it has involved the absolute use of both trekking poles and some hand-over-hand scrambling. But oh my word, how magnificent this trail is right now. Above the tree line. Gonna be like this for a little while. Okay, gonna concentrate on my footing now. We've got a lot more to do today. A lot more ridge, a lot more climb. Really tell us this Sunday with all the hikers here. Still walking on Franconia Ridge. Some breathtaking views. Challenging hiking, but it is magnificent. We're on our way down, but it was a heck of an up. A hard day of hiking done. Some amazing, amazing views. I'm at the Garfield Ridge shelter. I will be staying in the shelter. Wolfman and Radioactive are tenting on one of the tent platforms. I'm not sure what Gator's going to be doing, but very challenging day, very exhausting day, but I hope you can notice by the smile on my face, an incredibly rewarding day. So, the end of day one of a new week. and I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. Just finished a crazy descent from camp. Let's just say the trail and the water source weren't that dissimilar. A lot of water running down the trail. But a new day begins. Only one major climb today, but it's going to be a longer day. So let's see how it goes. All right, we hiked from where we tended last night to the Gale Head Hut, a hut run by the AMC, where hopefully they'll have some leftover pancakes that we can scrounge. And they definitely have water, which is a good thing. And that is the hut. Hello, still resting at the Gale Head Hut, and I'm going to make a little confession. I've been hiking for a little while now, and I've considered myself a decent hiker. I hike at a relatively good pace, but these several days in the whites have really questioned my ability as a hiker. Oh man, you hear from anyone that has done the AT, whatever your mileage is, when you get to the whites, is going to be cut in half. But until you experience it yourself, it is hard to believe. And as wonderful as the hikes have been, man, they have been rough. And so, yeah, they really do cut your mileage in half. But take a look at this view around me. Just absolutely worth it. So, yeah, I'm old and I'm slow, and I'm getting my butt kicked. But this is magnificent. The summit of South Twin Mountain.
Yeah, apparently I think that's the
It's like we just came up from that direction. I know it's right there, but
yeah, it does feel that way. Yeah. I do believe that's right.
yeah, no, there's a white marker on white place in the rock.
It is kind of true. For sure.
Yeah, we could have just hiked it over there and
Just
kept going, but no, they want to make sure we got the peak.
breathtaking.
Which on one hand I appreciate.
Good morning. I just realized I didn't do a end of the day video yesterday. We're at the Ethan Pond shelter. It's loaded. There's a couple scout groups here, lots of other hikers, through hikers, section hikers. So I didn't record anything, but it's a new day, big day ahead. A couple of summits, and we hope to get to the Lakes of the Clouds hut at the end of the day. It's going to be a long day for the whites, 14 miles, so a new day begins. That is one of the beasts I'll be climbing today. It's been all downhill since I left camp. Time to start heading uphill. Standing on the Webster ledges, looking out at one of the most magnificent views. All right, this is the top of Mount Webster. It's a little after 10:30. I've been hiking since 4:45. As the saying goes, many miles before I sleep. So I hike on. Well, we just had a
hand over hand boulder scramble to reach the top of Mount Jackson. Mitzvah Spring Hut on the AT. The trail. Not much more to say. All right, the view from the top of Mount Pierce. Off in the distance, that's Mount Washington. That's where we're headed tomorrow. I don't know if you can see the mist coming over the mountains. Up ahead are Wolfman, Radioactive, and Gator. We're headed to the Lakes in the Clouds hut. Mount Washington, framed between two other mountains. The Lake of the Clouds hut. So we got to the Lakes of the Clouds hut, and the place is packed, but there were bunks available, which I'm glad, because the other alternative would have been work for stay, which I really didn't want to do, and what they call the dungeon, which is basically the cellar, for $10. This is much preferable because it includes dinner and breakfast. And the reason why it's good that we got here when we did is because, you know, we're high up in elevation and weather can change pretty quickly. About 20 minutes or so after we got here, the sky opened up. And two other guys that were behind us ended up getting drenched. So we timed it very well. So I'm going to enjoy this evening. So it was a good, tough day of hiking. 14 miles, which for the whites is outstanding. So see you tomorrow.
Good morning, everyone. It's a misty morning here. I don't know if you can make it out at the Lakes of the Clouds hut. Heading up to Mount Washington today. It's supposed to be pretty much like this all day, possibility of rain. So I'm not sure how many vistas or beautiful views that I'm going to be able to show you. So this might be it, but hopefully not. But once again, a new day begins.
All right, here we are, the summit of Mount Washington. The site of some of the most unpredictable weather in the country.
Very cool. Must be the first train load in the morning.
Okay, we just came down all of that. What fun. All the way up there is Mount Washington. This is how far we've come. I don't know if you can hear it, but it is raining, or beginning to anyway. We're expecting a fair amount. I am in my tent, obviously. We summited Mount Washington today. I hope you will enjoy those clips. And then we hightailed it because we knew that what the forecast was. We got to one of the AMC huts. I don't recall the name right now. Shortly after it began raining, but we were able to eat our lunch there, and get water and what have you. Then there was a lull, which enabled us to push on. Now, the place we were going to stay at had 10 platforms. It was already full. So we pushed on another 0.6 miles, and we're at a pretty, nice site here. Actually, it was someone at the AMC hut that told us about this particular spot. Otherwise, we would not have known about it. So for us, this worked out really, really well. So, a rainy day in parts. It would have been really nice to see Mount Washington on a really clear day, but just getting up to Mount Washington was a pretty big deal. So that's a good note to end the day on. I'll see you tomorrow. Red squirrel hanging around the Pinkham Notch Visitor Center, eating a piece of popcorn. Hello, this is both a good morning and good evening video, perhaps. Clearly, I'm not on trail. I am at the Joe Dodge Lodge at the Pinkham Notch Visitor Center. I'm taking an impromptu Nero. I did have to hike about 4 miles to get here. But why am I taking a zero? Well, as I mentioned in the previous video, we hiked to the tent site yesterday. It was full. We had to hike another 0.6 miles. And that tent site was fine. It had enough spots for the four of us. We were able to get our tent set up and eat our dinner before the rain and thunder came. Now, the worst of the thunderstorm was actually miles away on another ridge line. But we did get a little rain, a little thunder and lightning. But it's always good when the worst stuff is miles away. But what happened to me was that in the middle of the night, I'm not sure what time, my air mattress went flat. So I was basically sleeping on the roots. I mean, I could feel them from under my tent. So I did not get a good night's sleep. What was on store today was a very, very steep climb to begin the day, about 2,000 foot of climb. And I think the 2 or 3 mountains that we were going to summit were all 4,000 footers. You don't want to do that if you basically haven't slept. And as much as I hated not hiking today, I'm more concerned with my safety. So I took an arrow. Now, fortunately for me, the visitor center has a small ability to do some resupply. Because I'm going to be, a day or so behind where I thought I would be, I was able to pick up some extra food. There still is a resupply waiting for me when I eventually get to the hostel I'm going to. And also, I was able to get a replacement for my sleeping pad. Now it's not an air pad, which I like. It's one of those floatable Z kind. It's not my preferred sleeping pad, but it will certainly do until I'm able to get another one. But that's why I'm here, an impromptu, but I think a wise decision to take this narrow. And then tomorrow, after having a good breakfast, dinner and breakfast provided here, I will tackle that climb and those mountains. In the meantime, even though dinner will be served, eventually, I'm going to put some more calories in because that's what I do when I'm in a hotel or a lodge or a hostel or what have you. So maybe I'll see you later today, but I'll definitely see you tomorrow. Good morning. Obviously, I have not left the lodge yet, but I will be doing that after I have breakfast. I'll be hiking by myself today. The other three guys moved on. They did not take a Nero yesterday. Um, and so I want to say thank you to them. They were great hiking companions. And I've been fortunate on this hike, from the beginning with Orange Slice and Unicorn. Then there was a period of time, just for a couple of days, when I was hiking with Waffles, and most recently with Radioactive, Wolfman, and Gator. Um, it is fun hiking by yourself. Um, I like the mental time when you do that, but it's also nice hiking with other people. They help you um, keep moving forward. And so this is a really, really big thank you to Radioactive and to Wolfman and to Gator. Um, you helped me get this far. Um, it was a absolute pleasure hiking with you, and specifically in the case of Radioactive, who I met 2 years ago, it was a blast. Meeting up with you again and hiking together for a couple of weeks. So, best of luck to all of you. I look forward to seeing your pictures from Katahdin, and when I get there, I'll post mine too. Another day begins. Good morning again, everyone. This time from the trail. I am going to be doing the Wildcats today. My understanding is that the summits, they're both 4,000 footers. The summits are wooded in, so there might not be a lot of views, but we'll see how things progress. You can also see behind me the new sleeping pad. Not my preferred type of sleeping pad. I usually use an air pad, but that sprung a leak. This one will certainly do me fine until I'm able to replace the other one. But back on the trail. So I've been climbing this mountain for about 3.5 hours. And because you're facing forward, of course, you don't always know what's behind you. So when you stop and take a moment, sometimes you see something very beautiful. Some people take the easy way up the mountain. I'm just about at the hut. Pretty incredible.
I don't believe I did a end of the day video yesterday. I can't remember. I don't think I did because the hut was packed. Um, I stayed at the Carter Notch hut. Now, what today will bring, it's hard to say. Um, because I have a late start at the hut, they serve breakfast at 7 o'clock. So, you know, you're going to get a later start than most thru hikers do. I will either summit 3 mountains and go 7.2 miles, or if the trail's not too bad, and by the way, this is my ascent this morning, or at least the beginning of it, but if the trail kind of gets a little easier, I will summit 4 mountains and I'll go 15 miles. We'll see. My money's on the 7.2. I am trying to cut back my miles. The whites are very difficult, as you know, this image certainly indicates. But if the trail gets better, we'll see what happens. Another day begins. I am at the top of Mount Height, which is actually not the highest mountain that I'm going to climb today. Oh, look off in the distance. How gorgeous is that? Just breathtaking. Going up to Middle Carter. South Carter didn't have any views. Hopefully Middle Carter will. So this is a rock where I stopped to have my lunch. And why did I have it here? Because of a magnificent view. Plus the fact that I wanted to have lunch before I began the descent. But the view was definitely the selling point. Lunch is over. Time to head down. Well, there were no views at the summit of South Carter, but this is the summit of Middle Carter. And although it's not quite 360 because that's where I came from. Nonetheless, very nice views. So today we get an end of the day video. I'm about 2/10 of a mile from the shelter that I'm going to stay at, the Imp Shelter. And it was a short day in terms of mileage, but a very challenging day. Still in the whites. So the interesting, since I'm coming down, some of these descents were very, very technical. Butt slides, hand over hand. And I would have liked to have shown some of them, but can't hold a camera when you're doing a very technical descent. But it was a good day, and
now I'm looking forward to getting to the shelter, putting my stuff, got something on my nose, putting my stuff in and making some dinner and get ready for tomorrow. See you tomorrow.